Jey Morales. Unbound. Revelation in the house. Turn it up now. Slide in, sit back, got your mind on spin. Jay talks smooth, revelation jump in. From headlines to the stories you heard, we break it down raw, word after word. You got questions, we got time. Little bit of truth with a sideways smile. Turn that dial, lock in and stay. We're taking that talk all the way. Jey Morales Unbound, gonna shake your mind around. From the deep dark doubts to the laughs out loud. Jey Morales Unbound, where the wild thoughts all get found. You can't stop that sound when the truth comes around. Popcorn popping, newsfeed hot. Revelation drop a line, make the whole room stop. Side-eye theories, rumors in the air. Jay peeling back slow, lay the truth out there. Little bit of wisdom, little bit of clown. We can lift you up, we can break it all down. Turn that chair to your favorite place. Let the talk run long, let it chase that chase. Jey Morales Unbound. Oh yeah. Gonna shake your mind around. From the deep dark doubts to the laughs out loud. Jey Morales Unbound, where the wild thoughts all get found. You can't stop that sound when the truth comes around. Come on. From the couch to the car, you feel that spark. Yeah, that's us. From your doubts to your dreams, we in between, kicking up dust. Hey! Jey Morales Unbound, gonna shake your mind around. From the deep dark doubts to the laughs out loud. Jey Morales Unbound, where the wild thoughts all get found. You can't stop that sound when the truth comes around. Can't stop that sound when the truth comes around. Jey Morales Unbound.
Oh, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, starting with a little bit of issues, but we're here. We're live. Welcome back to Unbound Season 2, Episode 16, and happy Friday. This is the show we dig beneath the headlines, unpack the chaos, and tackle the stories everyone else is too nervous to cover. I'm Jey Morales, and with me, as always, is one of my favorite co-hosts of all time, Revelation. How's it going, buddy? How we doing?
Same as always.
Hell yeah. It's Friday. It's already Friday. What do you think? You were just saying earlier about that you couldn't believe that Easter's already here. Tell us a little bit more about that.
I know. I figure what? It's the 27th of March. When is Easter?
Next weekend, the 5th, I think, right? The 5th?
Yeah,
It's
that's
usually next Sunday, so yeah, the 5th. Next
you
Sunday.
figure like we were literally just it seems like just not even a week ago that we were like just like being like, oh hey, it's all like not like it's just getting ready to be, beginning of March or some shit like that. Like, seems like so long ago.
Literally, ladies.
And it's like, and it seems to be, and it's, or not seems, it's like, oh, well, oh, a month isn't that long. Like, yeah, when you think about it, kind of is. A month is kind of long.
Month is long, but in our lifetime now anymore, ladies and gentlemen, just flies by like it ain't no tomorrow. I was actually reading on that, and they said because when we were younger and life was going slow, was because our bodies were adapting to the changes and learning of every day, and because we have learned everything so far, that's why life is boring now, and it goes pretty quick. What do you think, Revelation?
Well, I mean, there is that old saying, the older you get, the faster time goes.
Indeed, because there is nothing else to learn. But, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be touching some things later on in the show, and maybe we'll touch that again. Who knows? But tonight, it's one of the most packed and intense episodes we've ever put together. We're starting with the war in the Middle East again, a conflict entering a new dangerous phase between Iran, Israel, and the United States, from escalating activity in the Strait of Hormuz to expand airstrikes, proxy involvement, and the growing risk of global economic fallout. This is no longer just a regional conflict. It's a situation shaping the world, the entire world. At the same time, here in the United States, there's a separate crisis that is unfolding. The TSA funding standoff is now impacting air travel nationwide, with staffing shortages, longer security lines, and growing pressure on a system millions depend on every day. We'll also break down a controversial and rapidly spreading AI-generated video from Iran's titled One Vengeance for All, a piece of digital propaganda that's raising serious questions about the future of psychological warfare and information control. On the legal front, we're also covering a major decision involving former Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his wife, where a judge rejected efforts to dismiss serious drug trafficking charges, a case that's continued to raise global legal and political questions. We're also covering a tragedy at home, a devastating school bus crash in Tennessee that left multiple students dead and several others injured, sending shockwaves through the entire community. In addition, we'll look at a sweeping new bill in Idaho that would criminalize transgender bathroom use even in private businesses. A law already sparking nationwide debate and expected legal challenges. And finally, we'll reflect on loss in the world of music as we mark the passing of Dash Crofts from Seals and Crofts, the voice behind some of the most iconic songs of a generation. It's a week where conflict, policy, tragedy, and legality are all colliding at once. And tonight we're breaking it all down piece by piece. So hopefully y'all are ready, because we're about to go dive deep into this Iranian war. A little shout out to Orion, producer Mike in the house. Freaking Unbound. Hell yeah. Did you see the video of that trans law lawyer get him's ass kicked by 5 deputies in a courtroom? Hilarious. No, but when Revelation does his showdown, rundown of his stuff, well, I'll try to find it and see if we can touch it real quick before ending it. Ray Armar, what's going on? And yeah, hell yeah. Welcome everybody to Unbound. Now we're gonna go in deep from March 24th to the 27th today by the fourth of the Iranian Middle East war. By the fourth week of March 2026, the war involving Iran, Israel, and the United States has entered even more volatile and unpredictable phase. What had already evolved into a prolonged regional conflict by mid-March began to show signs of widening further. Not only geographically, but strategically and economically. The period between Monday, March 24th and Friday, March 27th, illustrates how the war is no longer defined solely by airstrikes, but in missile. Sorry about that. No longer defined solely by airstrikes and missile exchanges, but by mounting pressure on global energy systems, intensifying proxy involvement, and increasingly urgent diplomatic maneuvering behind scenes. Now, we're going to talk about the mounting pressure in the Strait of Hormuz. Starting on March 24th, Tuesday. By March 24th, tension in and around Strait of Hormuz had escalated one of the most critical points since the conflict began. According to sources, U.S. naval forces reported multiple encounters with Iranian vessels operating aggressively near commercial shipping lanes. These interactions included warning shots, drone surveillance, and close-range maneuvering that raised fears of an accidental or deliberate escalation. The Strait of Hormuz, already under intense scrutiny since the early weeks of the war, became the focal point of the global concern. Roughly one-fifth of the world's oil supply moves through this narrow waterway, and any other disruptions have immediately consequences for global markets. Insurance premiums for tankers reportedly surged again, while several shipping companies began suspending or rerouting voyages through the region. Iranian officials signaled that they retain the capability to disrupt maritime traffic if necessary, while the U.S. officials emphasized their commitment to maintain freedom of navigation. The situation created a high-stakes standoff in which even minor miscalculations could trigger broader confrontations. Now, by March 25th, the air war over Iran and its regional allies intensified significantly. According to sources, Israeli and U.S. forces conducted another coordinated wave of strikes targeting missile production facilities, underground storage bunkers, and command centers linked to Iran's Revolutionary Guard. Some of the strikes reportedly focus on infrastructure believed to support long-range missile capabilities and drone manufacturing, suggesting a continued effort to degrade Iran's ability to project power beyond its borders. At the same time, Iranian forces maintain retaliatory missile and drone launches towards Israeli territory and U.S. installations across the region. Air defenses systems on both sides remain heavily engaged. Interceptions were frequent but not always successful, and reports indicated that some projectiles struck near civilian areas. Increasing fears of further casualties, the pattern of attack and counterattack showed little sign of slowing, reinforcing concerns that the conflict was settling into sustained and potentially long-term phase. By March 26th, the regional dimensions of the war continued to deepen. Hezbollah forces in Lebanon increased rocket fire into northern Israel, and Israeli forces responded with additional airstrikes and limited ground operations aimed at pushing militant positions further from the border. According to sources, clashes into intensified in part of Syria and Iraq, where Iran-backed militias have been active. U.S. forces stationed in those regions reported multiple attempted drone attacks on bases. There were drone attacks on bases, some of which were intercepted while others caused minor change. The widening scope of these agreements highlighted the growing role of proxy forces, a hallmark of Iran regional strategy. Rather than engaging solely through direct confrontation, Iran has continued to leverage allied groups to stretch its adversary across multiple fronts. Humanitarian concerns also grew more urgent during this period. Displacement in Lebanon continued to rise, while infrastructure damage across multiple regions strained local forces or resources. Aid organizations warned that the situation could deteriorate rapidly if fighting intensified further. And as of today, March 27, the war has entered what many analysts are beginning to describe as a moment of strategic inflection, a point at which military actions, economic pressure, and diplomatic urgency are all converging at once. The battlefield itself remains active, but increasingly the conflict is being shaped by decisions that extend far beyond immediate combat zones. At the center of today's developments is the growing crisis in the Strait of Hormuz, where tensions have reached one of their most dangerous levels since the war began. According to sources, U.S. and allied naval forces are now operating under heightened alert as Iranian vessels continue to conduct aggressive maneuvers near commercial shipping routes. These encounters are not isolated incidents, but part of the sustained pattern of pressure that has turned one of the world's most critical waterways into a potential flashpoint for a much larger confrontation. Military officials have indicated that Iranian fast attack craft, drones, and surveillance systems are being used to monitor and at times approach oil tankers and escort vessels at close range. While no full-scale blockade has been confirmed, the cumulative oh my God, I know how to say that word, but I can't read it right now. The cumulative effect of these actions is creating an environment of uncertainty that is already disrupting global shipping patterns. Several commercial operators have reportedly delayed departures or rerouted the vessels entirely, calculating that the risks of transit may outweigh the immediate economic benefits. In response, the United States is accelerating efforts to rebuild a broader multinational maritime coalition designed to ensure safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz. According to sources, discussions are underway with multiple countries to contribute naval assets, surveillance capabilities, and logistical support. The objective is not only to protect individual vessels, but to establish a visible and credible deterrent presence that signals any attempt to close the Strait of Hormuz will trigger a coordinated international response. At the same time, the economic consequences of these developments are becoming increasingly pronounced. Oil prices remain elevated, hovering at levels that economists warn could begin to affect global growth if sustained. The connection between military activity in the Gulf and everyday economic realities around the world is becoming more direct. Rising fuel costs are beginning to influence transportation, manufacturing, and consumer pricing, creating ripple effects that extend far beyond the region. Today's developments are not limited to the maritime domain. According to sources, air operations continue to steady pace, with Israeli and U.S. forces carrying out additional targeted strikes inside Iran. These operations appear to be focused on degrading remaining missile and drone capabilities, particularly those that can be rapidly deployed or concealed. Intelligence assessments suggest that while significant portions of Iran's fixed infrastructure have been damaged over the past weeks, the country retains a capacity for mobile and adaptive operations, allowing it to continue launching retaliatory strikes. Iran's response strategy today appears consistent with recent patterns, measured but persistent. Missile and drone launches continue. Missile and drone launches continue though at a pace that suggests a calculated effort to sustain pressure without exhausting available resources too quickly. According to sources, some of these projectiles have again been directed towards Israeli territory and towards locations hosting U.S. forces in the broader region, reinforcing the multi-front nature of the conflict. Meanwhile, activity involving proxy forces remain a critical component of today's developments. Hezbollah operations along the Israel-Lebanon border continue with intermittent rocket fire and counterstrikes contributing to an atmosphere of constant tension. In Iraq and in Syria, Iran-aligned militias are also maintaining pressure on U.S. positions, using drones in direct fire to challenge American presence without escalating into full-scale engagements. These overlapping layers of conflict, direct strikes, proxy engagements, and maritime confrontation are creating a situation in which escalation can occur in multiple directions simultaneously. A naval incident in the Strait of Hormuz, a successful missile strike on major city, or a significant attack on U.S. forces could each independently trigger a broader shift in the conflict. Against this backdrop, diplomatic activity is intensifying, though largely behind closed doors. According to sources, European governments and regional actors are increasing efforts to open communication channels between the United States and Iran. The primary concern is preventing a scenario in which the Strait of Hormuz becomes fully contested, a development that could have immediate and severe consequences for the global economy. These diplomatic efforts are being driven not only by humanitarian concerns but also by economic urgency. Governments around the world are closely monitoring energy markets and supply chains, aware that prolonged disruption in the Gulf could lead to sustained inflation and economic instability. In this sense, the war is no longer confined to the Middle East. It is increasingly shaping decision making at the highest levels of governments worldwide. Another notable feature of today's developments is the apparent shift in how the conflict is being framed by leaders. Early in the war, statements often emphasize rapid objectives and decisive outcomes. Today, the language is more cautious, reflecting an understanding that the conflict may be entering a longer and more complex phase. According to sources, officials on multiple sides are now preparing for a scenario in which the war continues for an extended period, requiring sustained military, economic, and political engagement. The humanitarian dimension also continues to evolve. While today's headlines are dominated by strategic and economic developments, the underlying impact on civilian populations remains significant. Displacement, infrastructure damage, and access to essential services are ongoing concerns. Sorry about that, particularly in areas affected by proxy fighting, such as Lebanon and part of Syria. As the day progresses, one of the most critical questions remains whether the current level of tensions in the Strait of Hormuz will stabilize or escalate further. The presence of multiple naval forces operating in close proximity, combined with ongoing drone and surveillance activity, creates a high-risk environment in which even a minor incident could have major consequences. In many ways, March 27 represents a snapshot of the war, current reality, a conflict that is no longer defined by a single front or single objective, but by a complex web of military actions, economic pressures, and diplomatic efforts. Each of these elements each of these elements is influencing the others, creating a dynamic and unpredictable situation that continues to evolve in real time. What happens next may depend less on any single battle and more on these interconnected pressures are managed. The decision made in the coming days at sea, in the air, and in diplomatic negotiations will likely determine whether the conflict escalates further or begins to shift, however slowly, towards a different phase. My ending discussing questions about this, ladies and gentlemen, as always. Um, Oh, sorry, I saw a comment here. Shout out to Anthony, Stephen Brown. Um, yeah, shout out to you guys. My discussing questions are what factors will determine whether the conflict escalates into a broader international war or moves towards diplomatic resolution? How might continued instability in the Strait of Hormuz reshape global energy markets and economic policy decisions worldwide? In what ways does the use of proxy forces influence the duration and complexity of modern conflicts like this one? Let us know in the comment section, ladies and gentlemen. As always, engage with us, and we'll engage back, of course. If we miss your answer, we will make sure to touch it at the end of the show or the next show. Revelation, what do you got for me, bud?
Honestly, uh, this whole thing is just like, just stupid. Like, like I heard you say something about in that whole entire thing, like humanitarian aid, like that they're complaining about, like, well, one, of course they're gonna fucking complain about humanitarian aid. Go figure. International community always complains about humanitarian aid,
Mm-hmm.
and then just doesn't ever do anything about it. Like, how how are you gonna give, Iran humanitarian aid? What do you think they're gonna do? They're gonna give it to the Iranian Republican Guard. Like, come on now. That's what they're gonna do. You really think they're gonna give it to the people, the very same people that are rising up against them? Yeah. No. Like, come on now. Their own military is rising up against them. And yes, the Republican Guard is different from the military. They're only loyal to the Ayatollah and all the other generals and, polka dotted, you know, elephant, whatever like high authority. I don't know what the fuck they call them. The military is loyal to the populace and everything else. So the military now has basically only pistols and fisticuffs to, protect the people and themselves. They barely have any fuel in their trucks and everything else, if they even have trucks, because those have been requisitioned by the IRGs. Like, I mean, so if humanitarian aid is sent in, um, how are you gonna get it in? The only people that can get it in are Americans, um, the Israelis. So do you really fucking think the Israelis are gonna bring it in? The two Greek ships that are sitting in there, um, and that's it. Those are the only ones. We're definitely not gonna put it in there. Um, we're the ones literally bombing the ever-loving fuck out of them. If Greece has sent their two ships, do you really fucking think they're gonna want to do anything about it? Especially considering one of the ships is named Sparta, and Iran was the capital of Persia. Yeah. Don't think that's happening anytime soon.
Mm-mm.
And the only other ship that's on its way, the Charles de Gaulle, belongs to France. Don't see that stopping on a port to pick up humanitarian aid supplies. So, don't think anyone's bringing humanitarian aid.
I don't think so.
I just think Iran just might as well give up. Are they going to? No, no, not at all. And their people, Iran's always had proxy groups. They had a whole entire division set up to supply terror groups, Hezbollah, in and the two others. I forget what the hell they're called. But the one, uh, we have supplied weapons to rising militant groups in Iran that is now just recently popped up. And the very first one that popped up is Iranian Kurds, who've always been trying to get their own nation. So the IRGC has to now contend with a pissed off military, a armed, pissed off civilian militant group, and armed, pissed off Kurds. So, yeah, they're not in the best position to do anything.
Right.
At least, boots on ground wise. Especially now because they also have the threat of 2,800 U.S. Marines and 12,000 U.S. airborne troops as well. So, yeah. They probably should figure out a way to end this real fast.
Let's hope so. Let's hope so. Oh, well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be moving along now to the next topic. There we go. Sorry, I'm working on several things at the same time that I know I shouldn't, ladies and gentlemen, but we're doing it anyway. Okay. Put this down. Thank you. All right, we're going back, ladies and gentlemen. The TSA funding crisis, how budget standoff is disrupting the U.S. travel. And as of late of March 2026, a growing crisis within the Transportation Security Administration, the TSA, has escalated from a political funding dispute into a nationwide operational challenge affecting millions of travelers. What began as a delay in federal funding has now evolved into a situation that is testing the resilience of one of the most critical components of the United States transportation system. Sorry about that. The TSA operates under the Department of Homeland Security, and its role is to ensure the safety of passengers by screening individuals, baggage, and cargo at the airport across the country. Following the events of the September 11 attacks, the agency was created to prevent future threats to aviation security. Today, its responsibilities are not just important, they are essential to maintaining public confidence in air travel. However, the current funding crisis has placed that system under increasing strain, according to sources. Ongoing political disagreements in Washington have delayed the allocation of funds needed to fully support TSA operations. As a result, thousands of TSA officers have been working under financial uncertainty, with some experiencing delayed or incomplete pay. In the past several days, including as of March 27, 2026, the situation has become more severe. Staffing shortages have grown more noticeable at airports across the country as financial pressure has led to increased absenteeism. TSA officers, many of whom rely on consistent pay to meet basic living expenses. Sorry about that. Have been forced into difficult personal situations. Some have been unable to maintain the same level of work attendance, while others continue to report full for duty despite financial hardship. This imbalance have created uneven staffing conditions that are now directly affecting airport operations. Travelers are beginning to feel the impact in a very direct way. Security lines at airports have become longer and less predictable, with some passengers experiencing significant delays during peak travel hours. According to sources, certain major airports have seen wait times stretch beyond normal expectations, leading to missed flights, rescheduling, and increased stress for passengers. The unpredictability of these delays have become one of the most pressing concerns. Unlike weather-related disruptions, which can often be anticipated and planned for, the current situation is dynamic and consistent. Travelers are now being advised to arrive at airports much earlier than usual, as security processing times can vary significantly depending on staffing levels and passenger volume. At the same time, federal officials are beginning to respond to the growing crisis. According to sources, discussions are underway to provide temporary support measures aimed to stabilizing TSA operations. These include the potential deployment of additional personnel to assist with airport crowd management and security flow, as well as proposal for emergency funding designed to ensure that TSA officers receive at least partial compensation during the ongoing budget impasse. These efforts signal that the situation has reached a point where it is no longer viewed as a routine administrative delay, but rather as a matter requiring immediate attention. The involvement of multiple federal agencies and consideration of emergency measures highlight the seriousness of the disruption. Meanwhile, the broader aviation industry is adjusting to the ongoing challenges. Airlines are modifying boarding procedures, adjusting flight schedules, and offering greater flexibility to passengers affected by delays. These adjustments reflect an attempt to adapt to a system that is currently operating under less predictable conditions. Beyond the immediate effects on travelers, the TSA funding crisis raises deeper concerns about workforce stability. According to sources, continued financial uncertainty has begun to affect morale among TSA officers. While many remain committed to their roles, the stress of working under uncertain pay conditions is becoming increasingly difficult to sustain. In some cases, this has contributed to higher absenteeism, further exacerbating staffing shortages. This situation highlights a critical vulnerability within essential government services. The reliance on consistent funding to function effectively. Unlike many private sectors, operations agencies like the TSA cannot simply pause or scale back operations without consequences. Their responsibilities are continuous, and any disruption in their funding can have immediate and widespread effects. Political negotiations remain ongoing, but no final resolution has been reached as of today. According to sources, lawmakers are facing increased pressure to resolve the impasse, particularly as public frustration grows. Travelers experiencing delays are beginning to feel the real-world impact of political disagreements, which is intensifying calls for a solution. At the core of the issue is a broader debate over federal priorities and how government resources should be allocated. Some policymakers argue that broader security. Sorry about that. Some policymakers argue that the border security and immigration enforcement should take precedence, while others emphasize the importance of maintaining uninterrupted funding for essential services like airport security. These differing priorities have contributed to the current stalemate, leaving agencies like the TSA in a difficult position. As the situation continues to unfold, experts warn that prolonged instability could have long-term consequences. Continued staffing shortages could lead to slower processing times, increased pressure or remaining employees, and potential challenges in recruiting and retaining qualified personnel in the future. Over time, these factors could weaken the overall effectiveness of the system. Despite these challenges, the TSA continues to operate and security standards remain in place. However, the distinction between maintaining standard and maintaining efficiency is becoming increasingly important. Even if procedures remain unchanged, reduced staffing and increased stress on personnel can affect the overall performance of the system. The current crisis serves as a reminder that even the most routine aspects of daily life, such as passing through airport security, depends on complex systems that require stability and support. When those systems are disrupted, the effects are felt quickly and widely. As March of 2026, the situation remains unresolved. The coming days will be critical in determining whether the TSA can return to stable operations or whether further disruptions will occur. What is clear is that the impact of this funding crisis extends far beyond government budgets. It is reshaping the experience of travelers, the stability of federal workforce, and the efficiency of a system that millions of people rely on every day. And now, ladies and gentlemen, as always, my ending discussing questions. Should essential services like the TSA be insulated from political funding disputes, or is this sorry, or is this an unavoidable aspect of government systems? How does financial instability among TSA workers affect both airport security and public trust in air travel? And what long-term solutions could prevent future disruptions to critical agencies during political gridlock? Let us know in the comment section. As always, ladies and gentlemen, Revelation, just give us the lowdown on what you think.
Listen, as long as, every, you know, little, like, agency is part of a, you know, organization, like, in DOW, in FC, whatever, or whatever, things like that. It's controlled by the government. So unless the Republicans and Democrats can both agree on it, you're not getting the funding. So they gotta both get their agendas to agree with each other, so that way the funding gets put towards them. Which right now, currently, it's not agreeing, and which means people are starting to lose their jobs, which is stupid, because I don't care what your political affiliation, whether you believe it's controversial for, one group or the other, whether you don't like what, waiting time because, oh, well, I hate having to take off this or that, get patted down, I hate these people because of what they do to this, I hate warrants or blah, blah, whatever the fuck it is. Fucking people are losing their jobs because they're not getting funding.
Right.
When it comes to people losing their jobs, I don't care. That's their livelihood. How would you feel if your cousin Joe or your sister Sally lost their job because, you know, suddenly their business that they were at fucking couldn't get the funding that they needed and had to cut some people because the some one of the contracts for deliveries they had couldn't they couldn't come to an agreement with their business, and so they had to cut them off and go find another person. That's exactly how that would be. Like, and in that time they had to remove some people to save money during the whole negotiation. That's literally what it is.
Right.
Or somewhat like it, to give an example at least. Like, uh,
Well, we're gonna move to stretch to fit the screen. There we go. There we go. Hopefully this looks good on you guys' side. Forgive me if it isn't looking good on your side. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to set up this video where hopefully it doesn't mess up the our feed here that I'm trying to fix. So let's see. Transform. Hit the screen. There we go. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. Ladies and gentlemen, we're moving now to the Iran's AI video titled One Vengeance for All, the symbolism, strategy, and an escalation by the Iranians. Let's see. Is this short enough? Yeah, it's short. So, ladies and gentlemen, before we continue, we're going to play you this this video. Viewer discretion is advised. Yeah. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
fine. Every image that you see in here, it is satire based on a nation's propaganda.
Correct. And I'm sorry if it's blurry, ladies and gentlemen, but here we go. Enjoy. There you got it, folks. There you have it. The video was posted by RT. But here we go. We got the whole information about this. Um, Amid the intensifying conflict between Iran and the United States, and Israel and Iranian state media released a provocative and highly stylized artificial intelligence generated video titled One Vengeance for Us. You saw the minute-long clip has quickly circulated across social media platforms and international outlets. Now, not as a traditional news broadcast, but as a piece of psychological messaging aimed at amplifying the Tehran's narrative of grievance and retaliation. The video central motive is both dramatic and symbolic, a missile striking and destroying a reimagined Statue of Liberty. In this depiction, the iconic American monument, long understood globally as a symbol of freedom and democracy, is altered visually. Its head is replaced with that of Baal, an ancient deity associated in some traditions. Wait. Whoa, docket team, what's going on here? And thank you. And an Asian deity associated in some traditions with false power and idolatry. And it is shown holding a sacred text. The missile's impact shatters the statue, conveying a message of destruction that goes far beyond a simple military threat. The narrative arc of One Vengeance for All is deliberately constructed to connect multiple historical grievances in conflicts involving the United States. Rather than focusing solely on current military engagements, the video uses AI to stitch together scenes that evoke decades of U.S. military involvement, from displacement of indigenous people and the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki to the Vietnam War and recent Middle Eastern conflicts. These sequences are framed visually in a way that suggests a long history of American aggression, implying that Iran's retaliation is not just about the present war, but a response to accumulated injustices. And also, if you guys notice, Epstein Island made it there also. So, they're depicting also the travesties that's happened there. Interspersed within these historical references are more contemporary and controversial elements. Here we go. And one sequence appears to depict a child standing near Jeffrey Epstein's private island, a reference to the high-profile sex trafficking scandal that has been politically charged in the United States. In the context of the video, this imagery is used to suggest that current geopolitical tensions, including the ongoing conflict with Iran, are part of the broader pattern of the U.S. domestic and foreign policy failures or distractions. The video also includes the AI-generated representation of Iranian figures central to the nation's recent history. Among these are former Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, and Major General Qasem Soleimani, both of whom have become symbolic martyrs within Iranian political culture following their deaths in U.S. linked strikes. Their appearances looking skyward towards the incoming missile adds a layer of personal national narrative to the broader historical commentary. The final sequence, the missile strikes on the Statue of Liberty, is paired with the slogan "One Vengeance for All." This phrase encapsulates the intended emotional message that Iran's actions in its framing represents a collective response on behalf of the all people it portrays as oppressed or wronged by American power. The use of AI allows the imagery to be both cinematic and surreal, amplifying its impact as piece of visual propaganda rather than a straightforward news report. Analysts note that the release and distribution of this video reflect a broader evolution in how states engage in information and psychological warfare. In past conflicts, propaganda often relied on written statements, controlled broadcasts, or curated imagery. In contrast, One Vengeance for All leverages generative AI to create a visually striking narrative that can be easily shared, remixed, and spread across platforms, increasing its potential reach and emotional resonance. The dissemination of the video has not been limited to Iranian channels alone. It has also been amplified by foreign outlets and allied media, including Russia platforms, which has shared and contextualized the clip within their own narratives critical of U.S. policy. This cross-platform spreads underscores how digital propaganda can transcend national boundaries, turning a single piece of content, into a tool for allied messaging in a broader geopolitical information ecosystem. It is important to emphasize that while the video depicts dramatic imagery of destruction and retaliation, it remains a piece of artificial intelligence generated content intended for symbolic effect. There is no evidence that it represents a real military plan or imminent physical actions against New York or the United States. Instead, its significance lies in its role as part of the escalating information war, a battleground in which narratives, perception, and psychological influence are deployed alongside kinetic military operations. The release of One Vengeance for All also illustrates the increasingly blurred lines between entertainment, propaganda, and political messaging. By using AI to weave historical references, emotionally charged imagery, and symbolic destruction into a single narrative, the video demonstrates how modern conflicts are fought not only on physical fronts, but also in the realm of digital perception. As tensions continue to escalate, such content is likely to become more prevalent. Governments and non-state actors alike are recognizing the power of AI to create compelling visuals that can shape public opinion, influence domestic audiences, and send calibrated signals to foreign governments. In this context, One Vengeance for All stands a stark example of how cutting-edge technology is being integrated into the broader strategic toolkit of contemporary geopolitical conflict. Now, as always, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to end it with our discussing questions. What are the strategic goals of using AI-generated propaganda in modern conflicts, and how might it influence public perception domestically and internationally? And in what ways does the blending of historical grievances with current geopolitical messaging affect the way audiences interpret the intentions behind One Vengeance for All? And finally, how should governments and international organizations respond to the increasing use of AI generated content in psychological and information warfare? Let us know in the comment section, ladies and gentlemen. And Revelation, what do you got for me?
Honestly, having AI do your psychological warfare is probably, well, at least right now. And if you're, well, I should say, at least right now. If you're from a nation like Iran, probably the worst decision you could make.
Right.
Because now, if it was like from America, United Kingdom, uh, Germany, Russia, even, yeah, I know, shocking, still them, China, you could tell that there would be tons of money poured into it for propaganda sake. That it would be very, very hard to, be like, oh, well, is this something like, and, but like, that was on such a grand scale that I am sure that somebody who has watched state media so much in their life would even see that as the biggest pile of dog water they have ever seen. Like, I mean, because at this point in Iran, they now know, oh hey, America doesn't have this kind of stuff. Um, you know, uh, our country isn't capable of launching missiles all the way over there. We're completely screwed. And also, we all know that it's a fact that keeping servers that like generate AI requires massive amounts of water to cool them down. Wouldn't it, be a better idea to use those servers for either one, intelligence gathering reasons on your opponents, two, not even using any of that stuff, and therefore being able to use the water for your citizens to at least keep them happy a little bit, and not want to completely chop your heads off. Or three, giving your troops more water so they can fight a little bit longer. That's just a wild, wild thought on my part. But what do I know? I'm just a American who lives in New York, totally far away from, Iran, who's only graduated high school. Hey, what do I know?
Yeah, what do we
It's
know?
me.
What do we know? What
Yeah.
do we know?
Yeah.
That's a fact. That's the facts. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what we go here. It's the facts. Nothing but the facts. We got a problem here. Come on. Anyway, I'll fix that in a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, now we're gonna move on along to a judge rejects a bid to dismiss drug trafficking charges against Nicolas Maduro and Celia Flores. In a federal courtroom in Manhattan on March 26, a U.S. District Court judge refused to dismiss the long-running drug trafficking case against former Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his wife Celia Flores, marking a pivotal moment in a prosecution that has unfolded with extraordinary geopolitical intensity. The hearing brought the couple back into public view for the first time since their dramatic capture in Caracas nearly 3 months earlier, and underscored the legal constitutional complexities at the heart of the case that continues to defy easy resolution. Maduro 63 and Flores 69 appeared in the Daniel Patrick Moynihan United States courthouse dressed in prison attire. Their presence a stark reminder of the unprecedented nature of the proceedings. Both have pleaded not guilty to narco-terrorism and drug trafficking charges filed in the United States District Court of for the Southern District of New York. Stemming from allegations that they led or facilitated a decades-long conspiracy to traffic cocaine into the United States in collaboration with armed groups in the region. The central issue before Judge Alvin Hellerstein, at Thursday's hearing was not the substance of those allegations, but a constitutional argument raised by the defense. Maduro's attorney contended that the U.S. sanctions on Venezuela, which blocks the Venezuelan government from using state funds to pay for their client's legal defense, effectively deprive the couple of their Sixth Amendment rights to counsel of choice. They argue that without access to Venezuelan government funds, Maduro and Flores cannot secure adequate representation for a case of such magnitude, and that this situation undermines the fairness of the proceedings. Judge Hellerstein acknowledged the gravity of the constitutional question. According to sources, he expressed skepticism about the government's justification for maintaining sanctions in a way that prevents state funding legal fees, particularly given recent shifts in U.S. policy towards Venezuela since Maduro's ouster. However, the judge ultimately declined to dismiss the charges, emphasizing that he lacked the authority to overturn decisions made by the U.S. Treasury Department, which maintains that allowing state funds to be used for the defense would weaken the sanctions regime originally imposed in response to corruption, human rights abuses. Okay. Let me start that again. However, the judge ultimately declined to dismiss the charges, emphasizing that he lacked the authority to overturn decisions by the United States Treasury Department, which maintains that allowing state funds to be used for defense would weaken the sanctions regime originally imposed in response to corruption, human rights abuses, and illicit financial activity tied to the Maduro era. Prosecutors countered that the Maduro is not entitled to Venezuelan state resources because the United States government no longer recognizes him as the legitimate president. They also argued that Maduro could, in theory, pay for legal representation using personal funds or by retaining private counsel at his own expense, though his defense team disputes that he has the means to do so. As of the hearing, no trial date has been set, and the procedural path forward remains unresolved. Outside the courthouse, the scene reflected deep divisions among observers and activists. Supporters of Maduro and Flores gathered to the cry the prosecutor as an act of political persecution and a violation of Venezuelan sovereignty, while opponents, including many Venezuelan expatriates or something like that. Sorry about that if I'm screwing up the word. Welcomed the judge's decision to keep the case alive and called for accountability for what they view as decades of corruption and repression. Similar demonstrations took place in Caracas, where Maduro's allies framed the U.S. legal action as an extension of foreign intervention. The case itself has roots stretching back years. Federal narcotics charges against Maduro and other Venezuelan officials were originally filed more than a decade ago and unsealed in 2020. The superseding indictment that includes Maduro and Flores was filed after their capture in January 2026, when the U.S. forces seized them. Sorry about that. when the U.S. forces seized them in a controversial operation in Caracas that drew widespread international attention and criticism. The couple was then transported to the United States, where they were arraigned on January 5th and sentenced not guilty pleas to multiple charges, including narco-terrorism, conspiracy, and cocaine importation conspiracy. Judge Hellerstein ruling to keep the case in motion ensures that the United States will continue to pursue one of the most unusual criminal prosecutions in recent memory. Maduro and Flores remain detained at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, where they have been held since their transfer following the January operation. If convicted, they could face life in prison under the U.S. federal law. The broader implications of the case extend beyond the courtroom. The prosecution raises fundamental questions about the interplay between international sanctions, constitutional rights, and due process. It also highlights the evolving nature of U.S.-Venezuela relations in the aftermath of Maduro's removal from power and the establishment of an interim government in Caracas. As legal and diplomatic debates continue, the world watches closely, aware of the outcome of this case may set precedents for how future allegations against foreign leaders are handled in U.S. courts. Now, ending discussing questions, ladies and gentlemen. How should courts balance constitutional rights to effective legal representation with international sanctions that restrict access to government funds? What are the broader international implications of prosecuting a former head of state in a domestic court, particularly when questions of sovereignty and legal illegitimacy are involved? And finally, in what ways might unresolved issues around defense funding affect perceptions of fairness and legitimacy in high-profile international prosecutions? Let us know in the comment section, ladies and gentlemen. As always, Revelation, what do you got?
Honestly, it's kind of hard because you literally have two sides. One, it's like, yes, please, we want him, arrested because he bad guy. And the other side's like, no, we don't want him arrested. He was good guy. And it's like, okay, what do we do here? Do we uphold the fact that that he was arrested and he doesn't deserve anything because he was, a fucking bad guy in his own country and screwed everyone over? Or do we actually say he has rights, deserves a lawyer, yada yada yada, legal mumbo jumbo? So it's like, because if you do one side's reasoning and let them have their way,
Yep.
it's gonna piss off. Like, let's say you go the side of, hey, he has rights. You literally just became friends with Venezuela and their new leader. You're getting all the oil now from Venezuela. You give Maduro a lawyer and everything. Let's say, just by sheer coincidence, all the planets align. Every moon that they have is different fucking colors, and he gets away scot fucking free. Guess what? There will now be another civil war in Venezuela. And guess who isn't getting oil anymore? The US. unless we intervene in another war-torn country. All because one side was able to get them free, got their way, because the justice system decided to be like, yes, we can do the right thing for a change. Now, if you go the other side, and basically go the route of, yes, he bad guy, and take away his rights, you can throw him in jail because he's a war criminal. You can get oil from Venezuela, help Venezuela, rebuild. They'll become an ally, and everything's honky-dory. Except you're now gonna have a bunch of loyalists to Maduro, probably in America, really pissed off, but less so in Venezuela.
Right.
So you're fucked if you do, fucked if you don't. Which one are you choosing? Long term, fucked over. Short term, fucked over. Personally, I would go with the one that gets you the oil and a permanent ally. Especially since they're so close.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
I know it is.
They're gonna get them for the narco terrorism. That's my opinion. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna move down to right. Oh yes. Today starts a tragedy on Highway 70, a school bus crash in Carroll County, Tennessee. A routine school field trip turned into a devastating tragedy on Friday, March 27th, 2026, when a Montgomery County school bus collided with multiple vehicles on Highway 70 in Carroll County, Tennessee, resulting in the deaths of 2 middle school students and injuring several others. The crash, which occurred around midday near Cedar Grove, involving a Kenwood Middle School bus, Tennessee Department of Transportation, TDOT, dump truck, in a Chevrolet Trailblazer. Investigators are continuing to piece together the events that led to the collision as families and communities reel from the impact. According to authorities, the bus was carrying 25 students and 5 adults from the Clarksville, Montgomery County school system who were on their way to a field trip in Jackson, Tennessee. The trip was part of the school program, and the atmosphere was described as exciting and normal before the crash occurred. Tennessee Highway Patrol Maj Travis Sorry, what? Patrol Maj, I might be Mayor, Patrol Mayor, Patrol Major Travis Plotzer said in a press briefing that the collision happened around noon and the dump truck involved did not appear to have contributed to the crash itself, though the investigation into the exact cause is ongoing. The immediate aftermath was chaotic and heartbreaking. First responders from multiple agencies rushed to the scene to provide emergency care. Extract passengers and secure the area. 2 students were pronounced dead at the scene, their identities being withheld initially as families were notified. Major Plotzer called the crash a parent's worst nightmare during the news conference announcing the fatalities. At least 7 others were injured in the crash. Emergency medical teams transported several of the injured by air ambulance to trauma centers across the state. 4 pediatric patients were flown to Monroe Carroll Jr. Children's Hospital. Where were they? I'm sorry. 4 pediatric patients were flown to Monroe Carroll Jr. Children's Hospital at Vanderbilt in Nashville, where a health spokesperson later confirmed that they were in stable condition. Other injured individuals were taken to Baptist Memorial Hospital Hospital, Carroll County, where they were evaluated. Many were released after treatment, though the full extent of injuries has not been publicly detailed. The crash involved multiple vehicles, including a Tennessee Department of Transportation dump truck and a Chevrolet Trailblazer. But officials have stressed that preliminary information does not indicate that the dump truck caused the crash. Plotzer noted that the circumstances surrounding the collision are still under investigation and that the authorities have not yet released a definitive cause. The Clarksville Montgomery County school system confirmed that the bus was part of its fleet and that families of all students and staff aboard had been contacted. The district expressed deep sorrow and emphasized its cooperation with law enforcement and emergency responders. The system also noted that the support services, including grief counseling, were being made available to students, families, and staff affected by the tragedy. Montgomery County officials also released statements expressing their heartbreak and calling for community support. Montgomery County Mayor Wes Golden described the incident as a bad day in Montgomery County, urging prayers and support for those affected. Local leaders emphasized the need for unity and compassion as families navigate the difficult aftermath. Traffic on Highway 70 was heavily impacted in the hours of following the crash, with the detours enclosures as crews worked to clear the scene and conduct their investigation. The Tennessee Highway Patrol remains the lead investigative agency, and officials have indicated that more information will be released as it becomes available. This incident has reignited the conversations about school bus safety, particularly on long field trips and rural highways where speeds are higher and emergency response times can vary. School transportation safety experts note that while school buses are statistically among the safest forms of student transportation, multiple vehicle collisions still pose serious risks. And understanding the factors that contribute to such crashes is crucial for prevention. As the community mourns the loss of two young lives taken too soon, support has poured in from across Tennessee and beyond. Vigils, memorials, and social media tributes have sprung up in honor of the students, with many expressing solidarity in their families and the broader Montgomery County community. The focus now turns to the ongoing investigation, the recovery of those injured, and the long road ahead for the families and classmates of the victims. In the days to come, authorities are expected to provide further updates on the cause of the crash, the identities of those killed, and any additional details that emerge from the official injury. Before I move up to our discussing questions, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move to a brief moment of silence for 10 seconds, and we'll be right back. And we're back. Rest in peace to the two young lives that were lost today. Um, Damn, no parent should go through that shit. No parent. My ending discussion questions about this, ladies and gentlemen. What measures can school districts and state transportation officials take to improve safety for long distance bus routes and field trips? How do multi vehicle crashes involving school buses influence public policy and infrastructure planning for rural highways? In the wake of a tragedy involving children, what role should mental health support and community resources play in the recovery process? Again, let us know in the comment section what you guys think, what you guys thought, and you can also leave your condolences in the comment section as well for those that were involved in this tragedy. Revelation, you have anything to say about this tragedy?
I
That's
definitely do not think we should touch this one.
No.
No, I think we should let this one slip on by.
Well, it happened. It
It is
happened. You
it is a
know, it happened,
yeah,
and
it is a tragedy. I think we should, just,
we're
you
gonna move
know,
on, ladies and
yeah,
gentlemen.
just have it where we inform the people and
Yeah, yeah. We don't need no ending
just slip
discussing
on
questions
by.
about this, ladies and gentlemen. That was my fault. Now we're gonna move. We're gonna touch something that we might lose people. Idaho legislature approved sweeping bill to criminalize transgender bathrooms use in private businesses. In a moment, in public and private businesses. In a move that has drawn national attention and fierce debate, the Idaho legislature on March 27th passed a highly controversial bill that would make it a criminal offense for transgender individuals to use restrooms, locker rooms, and other sex segregated facilities that align with their gender identity, even inside privately owned businesses. The measure, known as House Bill 752, now heads to Governor Brad Little's desk, where he is widely expected to sign it into law, setting Idaho on a path to having one of the strictest bathroom restrictions in the United States. Under the legislation, individuals who knowingly enter a bathroom or similar facilities that does not correspond with the sex they were assigned at birth could face criminal penalties. As first offense would be classified as a misdemeanor, punishable by up to a 1 year in jail, while a second offense within 5 years could be charged as a felony, carrying up to 5 years in prison. Importantly, the law would apply broadly to public accommodations, including private businesses such as restaurants, retail stores, and other establishments that provide restrooms to the public. Supporters of the bill, primarily Republican lawmakers, argue that that it is intended to protect privacy and safety in sex segregated spaces. During floor debates, proponents said that the law would reinforce traditional norms around bathroom use and guard against potential abuses by bad actors. They framed the measures as a way to ensure that individuals are using facilities consistent with their biological sex. Although critics have noted that the stated safety concerns are not supported by the evidence, showing increased risk in jurisdictions which inclusive restroom policies. Opposing. Sorry, give me 1 second. Oh man. Opposition to the bill has been swift and vocal. Civil rights groups, including the American Civil Liberties Union, the ACLU, and LGBTQ plus advocacy organizations, condemned the legislation as extreme and discriminatory, warning that it would effectively criminalize transgender people for simply existing in public spaces. Consistent with their gender identity, critics argue that the law could lead to profiling, harassment, and discriminatory enforcement, creating significant obstacles for transgender residents who live, work, and participate in public life across the state. Law enforcement officials have also raised concerns about the practical challenges of enforcing the bill, determining an individual's gender identity, a deeply personal characteristic, could put police in position of policing people's bodies and identities, a scenario that many law enforcement groups say is both invasive and impractical. There are questions about how officers would establish knowledge of a person's sex assigned at birth, and whether enforcement could divert resources from other public safety priorities. The bill's passage marks the culmination of a broader legislative push in Idaho over the past several years to enact policies restricting transgender rights. Earlier in 2026 legislative session, lawmakers passed a law requiring schools and medical professionals to disclose a minor's transgender status to parents, and other measures targeting a gender affirming care and sports participation have also advanced. The bathroom bill, however, stands out for its potential to criminalize everyday behavior in both public and private spaces. If signed into law by Governor Little, the legislation is expected to take effect in July 2026. Legal challenges are widely anticipated, with civil liberty groups preparing to contest the law's constitutionality on grounds that it discriminates on the basis of gender identity and violates fundamental rights. Some advocates have already signaled their intent to pursue litigation as soon as the law is enacted. The Idaho bill comes amid a broader national context in which several states have debated or enacted bathroom bills, laws that define access to sex-segregated facilities based on biological sex or gender identity, while some previous laws have focused on public schools or government buildings. Idaho proposal is notable for its inclusion of private businesses, which public restrooms expanding the reach of restrictions in ways that many legal experts say raise serious constitutional and civil rights questions. As Idaho moves closer to what could become one of the most restrictive bathroom laws in the country, the debate over the HB 752 reflect deep divisions over gender identity, civil liberties, and the role of government in regulating private behavior. With strong legislative support and an anticipated veto override, the bill's fate now rests with the governor and potentially with the courts. Now, my ending discussion questions about this. You can answer it if you don't want to. You don't have to. What are the legal and constitutional issues raised by the criminalizing bathroom use based on gender identity, particularly in private business? How might the enforcement of this law affect the everyday lives and safety of transgender individuals in Idaho? What role should empirical evidence and civil rights considerations play in shaping public policy and on access to sex segregated facilities? Ladies and gentlemen, let us know in the comment section if you want to answer this. Revelation, you don't need to answer if you don't want, unless you want something that you want to say about it, sir.
I think fucking having a damn, you know, like penalty or whatever the fuck it was for going into a bathroom that you like it isn't yours. It is the weirdest shit, like, because I think we've all done it at least once on accident.
Right.
Like if you are purposely in there, then fuck yeah, totally get the fuck out of there, arrest that bastard. But if you're like, oh shit, totally, why am I here? Oh, what the fuck? Like we've all done that. Because those ones in the public where it's they're both next to each other, and the sign is like, if it's a dude's, it's literally plastered on the left, right near the thing. If it's a girl's, it's literally plastered up on the, like, what I'm talking about. You literally can't see it unless you physically turn and look at the thing, because it'll be on the wall. Like, you literally just naturally assume you turn left, you're in the dudes. Turn right, you're in the girls. And then there's those ones, they're like, nah, fuck logic. And then you turn left, oh hey, I'm suddenly in the girls. How can I tell? Because it smells like lavender and fucking strawberries and is so much cleaner. And has tampon dispensers. But how the hell are you gonna tell now? Because there's tampon dispensers in tons of men's bathrooms. Cough, cough, Minnesota. You think I'm shitting you? No, there's ones in Minnesota. Where is it? What's the one that I saw just recently? Baltimore. Yeah, Baltimore. They're literally putting them in Raven Stadium, and the Oilers, in Oilers Park, where the Oilers play.
Right.
and they have a little like fucking, what do you call it, council to basically approve this type shit. And the dude that put him in was a fucking like senator, and he was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna take it upon myself to put him in." Blah 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 blah. And so this council was like, a woman that was like head on the council was like, "Oh, why are these in here? Do you like why are there 4 different types of tampons?" And he's like, "Oh, for the flow, rich, heavy." He tried explaining the fucking tampons to her, and she's like, uh, "No shit, I'm a woman. I know what tampons are. Why the fuck are there tampons?" And you know, uh, and it's like, okay, cool. Uh, there's not supposed to, like, you're gonna get confused the shit out of people. Like, dude ain't supposed to walk into a bathroom, see tampons, because then he's gonna, like, if you're drunk as shit, you're gonna be like, I think I'm in the girl's bathroom. You're then gonna walk out, still drunk as shit, into the other one. Oops, what if you see a girl in there? You see tampons dispenser, and you're like, lady, you're in the dude's bathroom. Because both of them now have tampon dispensers. You see what, like...
I see what you mean.
It's gonna confuse the shit out of people. Like... And I'm not gonna mention anything about the T word. Like, I don't know.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, let us know in the comment section what you think. But right now, we're going to talk about Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods, the 15-time major championship winner and one of the golf's most iconic figures, was arrested and charged with driving under the influence, a DUI, on March 27th, yesterday. Or today's episode, after his vehicle rolled over on a residential roadway near his Jupiter Island, Florida home. According to sources, a law enforcement statements, the crash occurred before 2 p.m. on a narrow 2-lane stretch of South Beach Road when Woods' Land Rover SUV collided with the rear of a truck pulling a small pressure cleaning trailer. The impact caused his vehicle to tip onto its side and slide to a stop, though no injuries were reported to Woods or the truck driver. Authorities from the Martin County Sheriff's Office said Woods exhibited signs of impairment at the scene, prompting a DUI arrest. He submitted to a breathalyzer test, which reportedly showed no alcohol in his system, but he refused a urine test, which would have been used to detect drugs or medication. As a result, he was charged not only with DUI with property damage, but also with refusal to submit to a lawful test under the Florida law. Both misdemeanors. Investigators believe the impairment may have stemmed from medication or other substances, though no specific drugs have been confirmed by officials, and the investigation remains active. Woods was taken into custody at the scene and was expected to remain in the Martin County Jail for at least 8 hours per standing procedure. The crash unfolding as Woods was attempting to pass the slower-moving truck ahead of him. Sorry about that. According to the sheriff's office, in doing so, his SUV clipped the trailer, which caused the rollover. Despite the dramatic nature of the crash, Woods was able to exit the vehicle, exit the vehicle through the passenger side without serious harm. Authorities emphasize that the narrow road and limited shoulder space made the situation particularly hazardous, and the absence of the other oncoming vehicles likely prevented a far more serious outcome. Woods, now 50 years old, has a long history both on and off the golf course. He is widely celebrated for his unprecedented success in professional golf, including 82 PGA Tour victories, trying the tying the all-time record and a legacy that reshaped the sport's global profile. However, his career has also been marked by past injuries in legal incidents. Notably, he survived a serious rollover crash in California in 2021 that resulted in major leg injuries. He faced a DUI arrest in 2017 near his Jupiter Island residence that was linked to prescription medication and resulted in probation and community service. This latest incident comes just days after Woods made a return to competitive golf at a TGL Finals match earlier in the week, where his Jupiter Links Golf Club team competed against the Los Angeles Golf Club. The crash and subsequent arrest have raised immediate questions about his future in the sport, his legal defense strategy, and the broader implications for athletes dealing with injury, medication, and public scrutiny. As of now, Woods has not publicly commented on the crash or the DUI changes. Legal proceedings are expected to unfold in oncoming weeks. And further details may emerge as investigators review evidence and toxicology results. The case continues to be a developing story with significant attention from both the sports world and general public. My ending discussing questions about this. In high-profile cases like this, how should the legal system balance accountability with the influence of celebrity status? What role might medication, injury recovery, and athlete health management play in incidents involving impairment, and how should they be considered legally and ethically? And then finally, how could this incident affect Tiger Woods' legacy in golf and public perception going forward? Let us know in the comment section what you think. And Rev, what do you got for me?
I still can't believe that he's relevant. How many times now has he gotten pulled over for DUI or something?
Oh, it said here that he's been DUI charges twice so far.
Okay, so that's 2 DUIs, and I know that he's done other things, like how many times has he gotten in trouble with the law, dude? Figure, because that was getting in trouble with the law was the initial reason why his wife left him.
Well, he also cheated on his wife years ago.
Yeah, I believe like some sort of domestic abuse. After that was what really ended the marriage.
It says here, short answer, Tiger Woods has been arrested for legal trouble 2 times as of 2026. The confirmed legal incident in 2017, DUI arrest, found asleep in his car and arrested for driving under the influence, later pleaded guilty to reckless driving instead. In 2026, as we said, a DUI-related arrest, arrested after a rollover crash in Florida with suspected impairment, possibly medication, as we said. In other incidents, not charges or arrests, these often get mentioned but not count as legal trouble in terms of arrests. 2009 crash outside his home, no DUI charge. And 2021 serious crash in California, treated as an incident, no charges. That's pretty much all we got.
So his dumbass just doesn't know how to drive, and frankly, I think he deserves every single bit of like thing that's coming to him, because I'm sorry, the minute that you start driving drunk, and this goes, and I'm just gonna say it right now, this goes for anyone in chat. The minute you start driving drunk, go fuck yourself. Literally, go fuck yourself. I don't give a shit. Like,
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
like I hate people that drive drunk. Like, You deserve no rights to a vehicle. Like I hate people like that. Oh, I'm drunk. I'm gonna take my keys. And then I'm gonna, start up a fucking steel death machine and start driving down the road.
Disgusting!
Like, explain to me the logic in that one. And even more so when you're a famous person, where you can use your fame to lower your sentence. So now let's just take into account let's say you're a famous person, right? You just killed someone in a DUI related incident. Instead of being average Joe Schmo, where you would have gotten 10 years for a DUI and a, manslaughter, if I'm correct, you would have now gotten 3 years. Fuck me, I guess. Because
You're not
I'm,
drunk.
I'm not drunk.
He's not drunk.
I'm actually
Yeah.
not drunk.
He's actually not drunk.
I'm not drunk.
Woo!
That's what he told the officers.
I fucking, I hate drunk drivers, dude. Buzz drivers are the same way. That commercial. We all know what commercial I'm talking about, too.
Straight to jail. Ladies and gentlemen, we're finally moving to the last topic that I'm talking about tonight. And it's a sad, profound topic. Daryl Dash Crofts, the beloved singer, guitarist, and co-founder of the soft rock duo Seals and Crofts, has died at the age of 87. Croft passed away on March 25th, 2026 at the Heart Hospital of Austin in Austin, Texas, after suffering a heart failure following complications from heart issues that had troubled him for years. His daughter, Lua Croft Farragher, confirmed his death marks the end of an era for fans of the 1970s soft rock and a musical legacy defined by gentle melodies and evocative harmonies that help define a generation. Born Daryl George Croft was born on August 14, 1938 in Cisco, Texas. Crofts discovered music at an early age and went on to forge a lifelong partnership with his childhood friend Jim Seals. Together they formed Seals and Crofts in 1969, blending elements of pop, folk, country, and jazz into a sound that resonated with millions of listeners across the United States and around the world. The breakthrough came in the early 1970s with a string of hit songs that became staples of the soft rock era. Among their most enduring hits were Summer Breeze, Diamond Girl, and Get Closer, all of which captured the mellow introspective mood of the decade and helped propel Seal and Crofts to national prominence. Summer Breeze in Summer Breeze, in particular, became a cultural touchstone in soothing chorus and evocative lyrics synonymous with the laid-back sound of the era. Beyond their commercial success, Crofts and Seals were known for the depths and sincerity of their music. Their work was deeply influenced by their spiritual beliefs. Both men were adherents of the Baha'i faith perspective that inform their worldview and often surface in their lyrical themes. The spiritual grounding set them apart from many of their contemporaries and added a layer of introspection. Sorry. Man, big words today for these psychedelic bands. and added a layer of introspection to their music that fans continue to cherish. The duo career saw them release more than a dozen albums, several of which achieved gold and platinum certifications during their peak years. Their harmonies, instrumental interplay, and melodic craftsmanship earned them both commercial success and critical praise. And they received multiple Grammy nominations over the course of their career. In the early 1980s, as musical taste shifted and the landscape of a popular music changed, Seals and Crofts disbanded. The pair reunited briefly in the 1990s again in 2004 to release Traces, but they did not return to extensive touring. Crofts also pursued solo work, releasing his album Today in 1998 and continuing to perform and record sporadically in the years that follow. Crofts' producer and longtime collaborator, Louis Shelton, shared a heartfelt tribute on social media, describing him as a dear brother and partner in music, and offering condolences to his family and fans. Tributes from across music world and from listeners poured in after news of his death, underscoring the deep connection many felt to the songs that he helped create. Croft is survived by his second wife, his children, and his grandchildren. His passing comes 4 years after the death of Jim Seals in 2022, leaving Crofts as the last surviving member of the duo that helped define an entire genre of American music. As fans reflect on his life and work, Crofts' music endures, a testament to the power of melody, harmony, and heartfelt songwriting. His contributions to soft rock and his influence on generations of musicians will be remembered long after his passing. We're going to take a quick 10 seconds, moment of silence for our dear friend Dash Croft. And give me 1 second. I'm getting it prepared. Ladies and gentlemen, quick 10 seconds. Oh, gosh. There it goes.
See the curtains hanging in the window in the evening on a Friday night. Little light is shining through the window, lets me know everything's alright.
Ladies and gentlemen, rest in peace to Dash Crofts. Will be greatly missed. They did change a lot of the music throughout the years. For everybody else who were influenced by them, we sincerely send our condolences to the family and friends and fans. Ladies and gentlemen, again, Daryl Dash Croft. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're heading into the part of the show where our good friend Revelation is going to take over to give us a little couple of articles here that are trending besides the articles that we have read tonight. But before we do that, as always, we would like to give you our sponsors of this show. We're going to start with our good friends down at the K-Ville Hotel and Tavern, located down in Klein-Felchersville, Pennsylvania. They're open from Wednesday to Sunday, 4 to 9 Wednesday and Thursday, 4 to 10 Friday, 12 to 10 Saturday, and 12 to 8 p.m. Sundays. Ladies and gentlemen, you can visit them at 2647 Heidelberg Avenue in Klein-Felchersville, Pennsylvania, 17039. And their phone number for any reservation or any other questions is 717-949-8413. Again, 717-949-8413. We also have our another sponsor, Atlas Epoxy Floors, for any epoxy needs in a business or your home. You can contact Bradford Kelly at 203-496-6386, or you can also contact him via email at brad.kelly@atlasepoxyfloors.com. He is located down in Milford, Connecticut. Again, he does garages, basements, patios, lobbies, countertops, you name it. Whenever you need epoxy, Bradford Kelly will do it for you. He is the CEO and owner of the business. So if you do need to contact him and ask him any questions, he'll have it down for you. He can go down to, again, I don't know if you've been on part of this show before and watched us, but he is available for travel, ladies and gentlemen. You can travel anywhere south, west, and north of the country. Just give him a shout again at 203-496-6386, or contact him at brad.kelly@atlasepoxyfloors.com via email, or you can also visit his website at www.atlasepoxyfloors.com. We also have our this is actually our main sponsor of this show as well. Velocity Modern Classics. They do work with you know, classic vehicles that they work themselves. As usually trucks and Corvettes and things like that. If you want to have any questions of what they do and what they work on, you can contact them at 850-466-1810. They're open from Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. And if you're down in Florida, you can visit them at their address at 15 East Quintet Road in Cantonment, Florida, 32533. You can also visit their website at velocityrestorations.com. Also, I am on a show called The Producer Mike Presents YouTube channel. You can check us out there. We do the show called The Movement. It's a hangout show. You can call in. You can talk to us. We do a lot of crazy shit on that show. So if you want to come and join us and hang out and watch our comedic feel, and also verse me in any Connect 4 games that we do also weekly. Right now we're doing a thing of if you can beat Jey Morales at Connect 4. So come on down every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, right? 8 p.m.? No, I think we go live at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, I believe. 9 p.m. Eastern. So come on down, check us out. And yeah, you won't want to miss it. As you can see, it does say Producer Mike Presents in the Jessup Legacy. We are involved on podcast that we used to do for 4 or 5 years with our good friend Steve Jessup, aka Mark Ryan, the comedian. We do an awesome podcast there called The Jessup Show Legacy. It's currently done. It's been done. We haven't done a show in a while. It actually ended last year in April. So if you would like to watch us from those shows, it is available on the same channel. Again, the Producer Mike Presents and the Jessup Show Legacy, Producer Mike Presents channel. All right? So check us out there. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I would like to introduce you to Revelation. While he takes over, I will be putting up an ad on my screen. Our good friend Revelation does not have a camera, but we do have about 3 cameras that I have gotten him. I just need to get him down to him to make sure that they will work for his PC. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, Revelation.
Hey, everyone. For those of you who like candy, specifically chocolate, and even more specifically, Hershey's, not the manufacturer, the candy bar. Well, actually, no, seems the manufacturer because it's candy products. They have released brand new versions of one of their most popular candy products. Oh, okay, so I was wrong again. The first one, the candy bar. They have released Um, dark chocolate raspberry decadence nuggets, which are the small little ones, like what they call the fun size, because they gotta be fancy. Instead of calling it fun size, they call them nuggets. Beats me. The new candy is available online and will soon reach major grocery chains. Recent innovations include Shack-alicious slams and Dubai-inspired chocolate bar. Um, Honestly, I think that dark chocolate raspberry decadence sounds amazing. Because they're saying here is the chocolate is a dark chocolate outer with a hollow interior filled with raspberry cream. Um, and I would give my left fucking arm for that. So it says here, um, I think that's literally just what I said. Okay, available in an 8.1 ounce bag. They are the perfect treat to enjoy on your own or to share among friends. Yeah, the hell no, I don't think any of us are gonna be sharing, Stiv that if we grab it. We're all just gonna be big backs and eating the whole entire bag. Um, right now the new candies are available online through Hershey's website, although some shoppers have reported seeing them in select retail locations. More than likely, the candy will arrive in major grocery chains in the weeks ahead. Um, yeah, it just that was exactly what I just said earlier. Um, Now on to my next and final article. Um, which is about the Oscars. Not that anyone, cares about the Oscars anymore due to um how boring they've gotten. And the fact that, you know, all the actors and actresses just come up there and decide to scream at each other and diss each other with probably some of the most boring insults ever, never uplifting them. Anyways, uh, the Oscars will leave their longtime home in the heart of Hollywood, locate to a more central Los Angeles venue beginning in 2029. So, you know, not really that far. Like, I was thinking, because I hadn't read that far. Well, actually, I didn't read the article at all. I was thinking, oh, they're leaving Hollywood. I'm thinking, oh, are they going to go somewhere completely different, like maybe, NorCal? Or are they going to go into a different state? No, they're just going like 20 minutes south. Ooh, whoop-de-doo. The same year, it is set to move to YouTube for its broadcast. Do you guys really think that's gonna help your viewership? Watch, now you're gonna get the ability to have dislikes. The globally watched Academy Awards will now be held at the Peacock Theater, a venue with greater seating capacity than its current home, the Dolby Theater. Perched across town on Hollywood Boulevard, the Dolby Theater, Kodak Theater, has hosted the Oscars since 2002, surrounded by the Hollywood Walk of Fame. The Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences said the move was part of a multi-year partnership with AEG, the owner of the LA Live Complex, that also hosts the Emmy and Grammy Awards. LA Live was built to host the moments that define culture, and there is no greater global stage than the Oscars, said Todd Goldstein, AEG's chief revenue office. Goldstein also pledged to create an environment that celebrates creativity, honors excellence, and delivers a unforgettable experience for movie fans everywhere. The 8 mile. Ooh, 8 miles. I thought it was at least 10 or 12. Moved to the Peacock Theater, which will host the event until at least 2039. Will push the ceremony away from the iconic Hollywood sign. But it is also a homecoming of sorts for the Oscars before moving to the Hollywood neighborhood of Los Angeles. The Oscars for years were held in a central location at the Dorothy Chandelier Pavilion and Shrine Auditorium. We are thrilled to partner with a global powerhouse like AEG, Bill Kramer, the Academy's CEO, and Lynette Howell Taylor, its president, said in a statement. Their track record for building and operating technologically sophisticated live performance venues is unrivaled. The move is the latest in a shakeup that coincides with the move from broadcast TV in US to streaming. The Oscars, which will have aired for half a century on ABC, will be streamed live and free on YouTube starting in 2029. They will continue to be held at the Dolby Theater at Ovation Hollywood. Live on Centennial ceremony is held in 2028. So, yeah.
That was it?
Yeah. I don't think anyone's honestly gonna, like any of that's gonna help the Oscars at all.
No, I don't think so. I think
Uh,
that's just,
all, yeah, all the awards shows are just kind of irrelevant anymore.
yeah,
The
they've really
greatest,
gone downhill for sure. They
the,
really
the
have.
greatest, the greatest fall off was the Kids Choice Awards. Like, what was it? It was either what was the Nickelodeon one? That was the Kids Choice Awards, right?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah,
That
that
had
that
the
was the
green
greatest fall
slime and
off.
all that stuff. Yep.
Yeah, as soon as the green slime went away, boom.
Over.
Like, yeah, because they ended up bringing it back, but it was too late at that point.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we did it. That's a wrap for tonight's episode of Unbound. Tonight we covered a wide range of major stories from the escalation of the Middle East war between Iran, Israel, and the United States and its global impact on energy markets, maritime security, and international alliances to the ongoing TSA funding crisis and disrupting air travel across the United States. We also broke down Iran's AI-generated video, One's Vengeance for All, and what it reveals about the evolving role of information warfare, as well as a major court decision in the case against Nicolas Maduro and his wife, where a judge rejected efforts to dismiss serious drug trafficking charges. We covered the tragic school bus crash in Tennessee that claimed the lives of two students, the sweeping new Idaho bill targeting transgender bathroom use in private businesses, and the latest developments surrounding Tiger Woods following a DUI arrest after a rollover crash in Florida. And we also took time to honor the life and legacy of Dash Crofts of Seals and Crofts, whose music helped define an era. And as always, before we go, ladies and gentlemen, I want to take a moment to highlight two important issues: mental health and domestic violence. These affect millions every day, but help is always available. If you or someone you know is struggling with mental health challenges, you can contact the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline in the U.S. by dialing 988. Trained counselors are always available 24/7. For those affected by domestic violence, you can reach the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233 for confidential support, safety planning, and connections to local resources. And remember, reaching out is a sign of strength, not weakness. You are not alone. Thanks for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen, into Unbound. Stay informed, stay curious, and we'll see you next Monday, next week. And before I let you go, we're going to send it to our good friend Revelation to give us the goodbyes and send us on our way to our music.
Before I give you your goodbye, remember everyone, the you know, some of us may be down in the dumps. You know, some of us may be a little bit more uplifted than others. But we all got to come together, and we got to feel fine. And in order to feel fine, there's one easy way to do that. You gotta feel the summer breeze. Because the summer breeze, that will truly make you feel fine. Now, I am glad that you stuck around. You listened to what we had to discuss. I hope you come back for the next show that we have. And tell your friends to come and listen to the next one. Hopefully they like it. And when that's done, hopefully their friends tell more. Anyways, you have a good rest of the night. Stay safe. Good dreams. Now, we're gonna play you out.
Hell yeah, everybody. We'll catch you Monday. Thank you to everybody. Producer Mike, Orion, Ray RMR, Jojo, Anthony, Stephen Brown. You name it. You name it. Everybody was in here. Richard, Tuna Man. Hell yeah.
Did it again. Ow. We hit the mic, let the whole thing run. Took those questions one by one. From the wild ideas to the facts we found. We laid it all out on Unbound. Jay set the tone, let the convo breathe. Revelation jump in with the wait and see. From the first what if to the last breakdown. We took that road, we went around. We talked it out, we broke it down. Turn that noise into real sound. If you stayed with us all the way, you heard the truth in what we said. We chased those rumors, checked those claims, laughed a little, played them games. From heavy thoughts to jokes out loud, we kept it real on Unbound. Side our stories, internet flame. We slowed it down, put names to names. If it sounded wild, we asked how. That's how it go when we unbound. Jey Morales unbound. We've been shaking minds around.
Oh yeah!
From the deep dark doubts to the laughs out loud. Jey Morales unbound. Where the wild thoughts all get found. You can't stop that sound when the truth comes around.
Oh yeah!
From the couch to the ride, you was right there on the other side. Every question, every round, you helped shape this Unbound. From your fears to your dreams, we met you there. In between what we talked, what we found, that's the story of Unbound. No! Jey Morales unbound. We've been shaking minds around. From the deep dark doubts to the laughs out loud.
dream will rise to the top, oh yeah.